What's up, Femme House fam? It's another version of Femme House Radio, Pass the Mic Edition. I'm her Mixlot, co-founder and executive director of Femme House. I'm here with Ezra Law. Um, I hear that it's your first year of professionally DJing. That must
Yes.
be a typo of some sort. That's for real?
Yeah, no, that's for real. My calendar year will be December 18th.
So it hasn't even been a year?
Not yet.
Your
Now,
SoundCloud sounds like otherwise, I'll tell you that.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you peeping that.
For sure. I have this long, beautiful bio about you that I would love to share, but I want you to explain in your own words who is Ezra Law? How did you get here with me in this moment? What is your superhero origin story?
Well, I started DJing with some friends a couple years ago, and then kind of just in the last year, like around, last December, I started being like, hey, I think this is something that God really wants me to do. And so
Mm.
I feel like I can connect with all kinds of people in this way. And this is what I'm going to do. So I started to, DJ and put myself out there. I started making mixes on SoundCloud and just kind of vibing out, testing the waters, and like it's in my artist bio, trying to kind of combine all the music that I grew up on, house, disco, R&B, into something that I can translate into how I want to relate to people. And here I am. I just feel like I've been running into the right people, and you know, putting out some good stuff, I guess. And now here I am.
First of all, was that thunder in the background?
Yeah, it's Florida, so it's gonna rain every 30 minutes of every day.
That's super tight because you were like, I feel like God told me to do this. And then he was like, sure fucking
I
did.
did. Yep, that was me.
That's tight. There's a line in your bio that really resonated with me. Um, you describe yourself as a selector of irresistible and disarming dance music, tracks designed to take you back to a spacious place within yourself. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so um, I love, at the same time, I love songs that have a lot going on, but in a almost like trancing way, just to kind of sneak up on you, because when you feel comfortable is when you can kind of get into your groove, or where you can feel vulnerable enough to show who you are to the people, around you. So I always like to select tracks that um, disarm you in a way with either vocals or just a rolling bass line, or like a continuing bass line to just give you something to ride and something to kind of just sit and like lock into. Because me, I love to dance, and that's really where a lot of this came from, like coming up from the dance floor to the stage and trying to just let people get into their thing, like while they're vibing. So the tracks I select remind me of just me being a little girl, like just dancing in my room. Like that's the kind of party vibe and comfortability vibe that I want to bring to the people that come to witness my sets. And that's just really all where all this came from, is the dance floor. So
That's
yeah.
tight. So, like, I'm hearing this, like, love and reverence for the dance floor, and sort of all these ways it sort of, I guess, allowed you to tap into yourself, allowed you to tap into something a little bit greater, allowed you to tap into your peers, to your community. What was the switch, other than it's apparently God sends you personalized messages, being that, she just hit you with rolling thunder to confirm your earlier answer. But what was the moment for you, and what did it feel like, and what was sort of the impetus behind like being a child of the dance floor and being like, yo, I have something to offer that's greater than me dancing. Um, what
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 it
was what was the shift?
The shift, honestly, I was reading an interview with Rez a couple years ago, and she was talking about how like she went to a set and it just kind of woke her up and was like, I can do this. This isn't a avenue or job for a certain kind of person. This is something that is accessible and available to everyone if you tap in and put the work in. And so like I had seen that and I had just started going to festivals back then. So I was like, okay. And so that kind of started moving some things in me. And then I had a friend buy a board. He brought it to a party and we all started messing around and we just kept doing it. And then I know that the music industry can be like a dark place. So I took a step back and I was like, you know, God, if you're with me on this, then I'll do this. And
Mm.
I feel like I got that, you know, affirmation. And I feel like each time I get the opportunity to play for any amount of people, um, it's just more affirmation that if I do this the right way and keep my mind right and keep my intentions pure, then this is something that I could do. And I just haven't, you know, looked back since then.
What sort of places? I guess I have a two-part question. My first question is, what festivals were you going to that was like sort of like revving the engine for you a little bit, like warming up the
Yeah.
car for you a little bit?
Um, Sunset Music Festival was my first one. EDC was another big one. EDC Orlando was a big one. I went to EZU in New York a couple years ago and just kind of seeing what this scene does for people. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to tap into that.
What's your relationship to, one of the reasons we started Femme House, and a lot of what we've managed to do and been intentional about doing in the live space is creating really specific types of representation because, all those festivals that you list, right? Yeah, it's a vibe, it's a fun time. I'm hard pressed personally, even now to walk around those grounds and look at those stages and even a lot of the community members, right? And see myself reflected in a lot of ways. So, like, what was it about those spaces that touched just enough of what you had inside, wanting to be a part of those spaces, and maybe, you know, lit a fire under you a little bit?
Yeah,
Which, quite frankly, I'm black, I'm queer, I'm mass presenting in this very specific space that I live in, professionally and musically. There's like all the homies, they know who they are, but like there's a very small handful of us, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And even with all the cachet that I can sometimes walk around and a lot of the privilege that I have, right? A lot of the access that I have, I still feel out of place a lot of times, even doing my own shit.
yeah.
Um, so like, I'm curious, like your perspective, like what was like the sort of like, I always feel like sort of a balancing act, right? Where you're like, I feel like this is a good space. I feel like maybe that space hasn't necessarily thought of me, but I feel like I could be welcome in this space if there were other examples of me. So like,
Yeah.
break that down for me a little bit for you.
It's funny that you asked because I just made a post about imposter syndrome today. I was like, it's not going to beat me today. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot the link. Shoot the link.
I and I definitely know what you mean about, especially like dance music festivals and the diversity in the crowd that's not so much reflected up on stage. Um, it really for that like, and then knowing where house music came from was a big reason for me being like, okay, you can penetrate this space and show that this is not just for a specific kind of people. Because even me listening to house music and choosing to DJ house music, like at first, like a lot of my family members was like, that's that white people shit, like
Right.
I've DJ'd in spaces where like my peers will come up to me and it's like, well, why don't you like, you know, back up from this type of music and play like our music? And I'm like, this is,
This is our music.
it's
Yes.
ours, it's everybody's, and it doesn't have to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, being, and I guess like me wanting to bring more of my roots into the music that I play, into the disarming tracks that I select, it's all just designed to kind of dissolve the barriers and
Hmm.
let go and have people let go of this ego that comes up in any good space. um yeah, 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 just trying to get us all to a place where it's like we are more alike than we are different, you know, and while we still need to pay homage, we can still move forward together and do this all in a much, you know, better way. Like I remember when I first saw Honey Love, I
Shout
was
out to you, honey.
I was like, you know, I felt like it was the first time I saw a black Barbie doll. I was like, she's
Right?
me. And I was like, you know, like this is like seeing more of us just come and be and thrive. And it's just like, yeah, it's everything I feel like is just affirming the choices and the decisions to keep going. Because sometimes, you know, I feel like you know, depending on the day, the ebbs and flows of life, like it's like maybe this is for me, maybe I need to step back and focus on my day job, but still everything, and even obviously this interview with you right now, like it's just like nope, God just like no, keep going, I got you, so I'm gonna keep going until I'm told to stop, you know.
I'll tell you what, man. Like from my perspective, and I've been at this game for a really, really long time. I'm not gonna say how long because that'll give you more information than y'all need. Uh, but you know, I haven't felt more optimistic, uh, and I haven't felt more seen as a full human being in this space ever than in the last like year, 2 years.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that a big part of that, it's so funny because like we started this organization and it was just like the basic principle was if you give people education about things, it makes them feel safe enough to participate in those things. And if you give people places to see people that look like them and reflect, you know, all parts of their identity, it just sends a message that they can do it too, right?
Yeah.
Um, Super fucking simple. And I'm sitting here talking to you right now, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why have I felt more safe in the last like year or two, whatever, when I've literally been doing this for as a career for 20 years? Damn, I accidentally told on myself. Y'all caught up. Damn. Okay. But the reason for that is because I see more of us,
Hmm.
and like we've always been here, right? You think about like DJ Minx and like just so many like heads that have been there for the entire time. But there's something about the loudness of like the reclamation right now and the re-education right now, like the unapologeticness
Hmm.
of actually move. This is actually like this is my birthright. So I'm not actually interested in like finding a small space in
Hmm.
this thing. It was like actually this is mine. You are a guest here,
Yeah.
and there's something that's been really empowering and reinvigorating for me. Seeing that in the last like year or two, and a great deal of that is DJs like you, like it's been you just told me you've been DJing probably for 9 fucking months. You know how crazy that is.
Oh, believe me, I'm like, what? And that's where like a lot of the, you know, imposter syndrome and all this like stuff comes in, but it's just like, no, that doesn't, these timelines don't matter, whether it's been 2 days, 2 decades, 2 centuries, you know, like keep going, keep moving, and, you know, just keep doing what you love and keep putting
Yeah,
out
man.
attention. It'll come back, you know.
Yeah, I'm feeling. I think I mean to say that I'm feeling very inspired by watching DJs like yourself and really talented creators like yourself make space for yourself and like keep going and do it in a way that like the elders among us. I guess I'm one of them, but like we were conditioned differently to take up space. Um, and y'all said fuck that, and it's encouraging me even at my big age to take up more space and create more space
Mhm.
for those of y'all that are feeling brave and feeling buck and like feeling like this is mine. So it's really cool to see, and I'm really really honored to talk to you and hear your story.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
So tell me what's going on. Did you say you're in Jacksonville? You're in Orlando, Tampa?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
That's
in
literally all three. Miami. Those are the four
yeah,
Florida states that I know.
yeah. I'm based out of Jacksonville. Been here for a while. Well, I was born here. I've moved. I've lived in different cities in Jacksonville, but like this is where I started to. well, one, live, and then two, like really DJ.
Duval is lit. Shout out to Giella, who's our community culture manager.
Hmm.
Um, uh, the scene there. I was in last year when we did the stage takeover at Halloween. I stopped into Jacksonville first,
Hmm.
um, and went to a function, and it's a really beautiful scene, and it's so black, it's so queer, it's so um, welcoming. I got so many hugs from complete strangers. Um, there was like a they were like STD testing in the back of the club and like
Hmm.
handing out birth control and condoms, and like there was like a a sensory deprivation room for everybody that was feeling overwhelmed by, like,
Yeah.
it was just everyone was just taking really really great care of each other. um, I think it's, if in my professional opinion, I think it could be a scene where we see a lot come out of in
Hmm.
the dance music space in the next 5 years. What's your experience with it? And like, I also, I'm thinking, sitting here talking, I'm thinking sort of like Duval is like the perfect place for someone like you who was like, yo, God, am I supposed to do this? And God was like, yes. And then also like a bunch sent you a bunch of little soldiers in Duval, like literally the most supportive community that I've seen maybe ever.
Hmm.
What's your experience with it, and how is it pushing you, and what are you involved in? Tell us everything.
So the Jacksonville dance music community is it's coming to the forefront because more people are like not trying to leave so much because
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville is a place where people where it's fairly new for people to be like, I'm staying and I'm creating a place here. I'm not moving to Miami and trying to get in on that. I'm going to create a space here. Um, I'm a part of a group and we do a free monthly installment of dance music highlighting local DJs at a coffee bar in Murray Hill. We come in, we move the furniture around, we set up, we put our lights, and then we'll invite different local DJs every time. And we started that this January. And the traction that it's
Tell the Femme House fan what that's called so that they can check it out.
So it's called First Friday at the Flamingo. It is so
Tight.
much fun. It's free, and I love a free event. So and that's just how it's like we don't do it to get paid. We do it to just create this space for everyone to come and meet and dance and be vulnerable and just have a good time. And the traction that it's getting, it's my baby. I'm just so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. And we've got some other local Jax collectives popping up and doing more shows. Another company called Rinse and Repeat Records is starting to bring some people. They brought Audio Jack out. They closed out the most historic venue in Jacksonville over the summer, a 1904 music hall. Beautiful event. And so it's just nice to see all these collectives coming together to push Jacksonville and let people know, like, no, this isn't just like the biggest city in the U.S. by land. Like, we got some things going. Like, this is a real culture of so many different kinds of people that can all come together for these single purposes to just connect and dance. And it's just amazing because for me, like, like we talked about earlier, dancing is just so important to me. It's the highest form of just a physical and natural expression of happiness and just vulnerability. Like, dance like nobody's watching is such a big thing, but it's just amazing that we can bring people together, in the name of letting go of all the things that we need to let go
Mm,
of, even if it's
tight.
just for an hour.
Sure, sure. So Ezra Law, tell the Femme House fam what they can expect from your mix.
So you can expect some deep vocals from a lot of just very powerful voices. You can expect your waistline to be looser than it's ever been. You can expect to smile and laugh and maybe cry. But you definitely will move and you definitely will dance, and that's just my goal.
What's next for you? What's on the docket? You're moving into month 10. I know I keep teasing you about this, but moving into month 10 month 10 of your professional DJing career. What should we expect from you in the next 2 3 months, 2 3 years, 2 3 lifetimes? What's good?
So Ezra's ready to start making her own tracks. You know, Ezra's ready to start producing and like really turning up. I have an edit coming out in the next couple weeks. It's not a dance music track. It's actually like a mashup of two very popular rap songs right now. Um, and I'm really excited about that. I
Can
don't
I
want,
ask you a question?
huh?
Is it a Pound Town edit?
It's a ski edit.
Right.
So that I'm so excited. Like I'm so
I'm
excited.
so excited. Are you
Yeah,
joking? Like,
yeah. No, that's
God
coming
bless
out
it.
soon. And then
Tight.
that's just gonna be on SoundCloud. You know, everyone can have it free download. You know, everybody play it in their set. You know, on the way to work, on the way home. Yeah.
That girl's gonna go platinum in this household. I'll tell you what. I will take a ski yee in any fucking form.
Oh
The
yeah.
it's like my daughter is like, Daddy, why are you acting like that? And I'm just like, you won't know until you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, one day you will know.
Mhm.
Um, so Ezra Law, you're sitting down with younger baby Ezra Law. What do you say to her to get her to this moment and propel her beyond?
I say, baby, go. Just go. You feel it. It's on your heart. It's in your mind, and you know you want it. Don't run from it. Just go. Run towards it. You know, sit down and do it, and then get up and dance to it.
Tight. All right, Femme House fam, there you have it. Get up and go, run to it, then get up and dance to it. I've been her mix a lot. This is the lovely Ezra Law. Thank you for your time. Thank you
Thank
for
you
all
so
that
much.
you do in your community. Thank you for having the courage to turn up. It's gonna give someone else that courage, and so on and so on and so on. And that's how we make really positive and impactful change. Femme House Radio, pass the mic. I don't know what radio station we're on at this point. I hope all y'all enjoy it. Have a good time. We will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
I'm gonna stop recording now.